Now we are going to work on our administration panel. So head over to the following GitHub repository and download as zip file. Now, once you extracted the archive, navigate to the dist folder and select everything from here. Now back to our project. Under the public directory, create a new one named admin. And under the admin, create another directory, assets. And under the assets, paste all the files and folders from the template. Great. Now let's make sure that it actually works by navigating to admin/assets. Great. So you can pretty much get the idea how our admin panel is going to look like. Now we need to create a new controller for all the admin components we are going to add. Great. So let's create a new route group for our admin pages. Now under the resources views, create a new directory named admin, where we are going to store all the admin views. Now, the reason why we are getting this access forbidden is because the server is trying to access assets admin folder. So we can change this to /dashboard. And if we try it again, you can see that we are getting the message here. Since we only want people with certain rights to access admin panel, we need to create a middleware which is going to check if user is admin or not. Now we are going to be accepting one more parameter named role. And under here we will have if. First we are going to check if the user is authenticated. And if the user admin is equals to true. This admin property is from the users table. So if we go to the PHP myadmin, you can see that we are currently not an admin here. So if the user is not admin, we are simply going to redirect him to the main page. And if he is, it's going to continue the request. Now we need to register this middleware in our kernel file here. We're going to name it check role. Now let's go to the admin controller and create a new function named construct, and here we're going to address the middleware check role. But since we are passing the role here, we can simply make it dynamic, so in the future we can check for the author as well. So in here we are checking for the admin. Now let's try to access the admin dashboard. For some reason we still have access to the admin dashboard. Let's double check our middleware. Now we made a mistake here, so this redirect will only be hit if the user is authenticated and if the passed role is not equals to true. But what if user is not logged in? So we can check if the user is not authenticated or the passed role is not equals to true. So let's try it once again. And as you can see, this time it worked well. So now let's try to log in. And try to access the admin dashboard. And it's still redirecting us to the main page. And that is because, if you remember, we are not an admin. So let's change that in the database. So we are setting admin to true. And we should be able to access the admin dashboard route now. Now the cool thing about this, every function that we define in the admin controller will be secured by this middleware. Let's go ahead and change the login, register, and other pages from the default Laravel style to our admin panel template. Under the public admin directory, you can see all the pages that we currently have in our admin template. So this is how our login page will look like. So I'm simply going to copy this code and paste it in the login here. But before doing that, I want to comment all this code in here. And I want to remove extends and section. Now if I navigate to the login, you can see that there is a missing CSS and JS. Let's fix it. Great. As you can see, now our login looks exactly the same as the one from the template. Now we need to implement some logic in here. And we can copy it from the code we commented earlier. And since we don't have a form defined here, we will have to create a new one. Within the form tag, we need CSRF field. Email input should have name of email, and we want to display it red if there is something wrong with the email field. Now, if there are any errors for the email, we want to display the message here. Now do the same for the password field. Great. Now let's test and check if this login actually works. So in the first try, I'm going to type the wrong password. And nothing happens. For some reason, this button doesn't work. And that is probably because it is not under the form tag. Now let's refresh and try once again. And clearly we are getting the error that these credentials do not match our records. Now let's enter the correct password. And as you can see, we are successfully logged in. Now we can remove this code we commented earlier, and we can transform this into the layout. So we are going to create a new one, which is going to be named auth.blade.php. So I'm going to copy all of this, paste it here, and then I'm going to cut this container element. And we are going to use yield here. And give it a name of content. Now back in our login, we can remove everything. Now we are going to extend the auth layout. Create a new section named content and close it. Now let's log out, and as you can see, the login page is working. Now, the cool thing I would like to use is I would like to update this title dynamically since we are using extended layout. So I'm going to define one more element here, which is going to have name of title. Now back in the login view, I'm going to create new section, title, and I will give it title of login. And as you can see, we are getting title login.